The upcoming Thursday episode of The Bold and the Beautiful promises a rare emotional pause amid ongoing chaos, as the story pivots toward reunion, reflection, and quietly drawn battle lines. Recent weeks have left Ridge and Brooke carrying the weight of constant tension, particularly over their growing frustration with Katie's decision to boldly reclaim the Logan name as the foundation of her new fashion house. That single choice has unsettled old loyalties at Forrester Creations, turning what should have been a family brand into a source of rivalry and wounded pride. With Katie's venture generating undeniable buzz, the atmosphere at the fashion house has felt less like collaboration and more like a slow-burning standoff. One where every success sharpens old resentments rather than soothing them. Against that backdrop, the return of R.J. Forrester arrives like a breath of air through a room that has been sealed too long. His homecoming carries news significant enough to immediately lift Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan Forrester out of their recent frustrations, reminding them that not all developments come wrapped in conflict. RJ's reappearance is not loud or dramatic, but it is deeply felt, especially as he reunites with his parents in the familiar surroundings of the Forrester showroom. The space, usually charged with competition and creative pressure, becomes momentarily softer as family takes precedence over fashion wars. Ridge and Brooke are eager to understand what their son has been doing during his long absence, and RJ's stories are less about ambition than survival. He admits that he needed distance, not because he lacked love or direction, but because the emotional storm surrounding Luna had grown too overwhelming to face head-on. Stepping away allowed him to regain balance, to think clearly without being pulled into conflicts that threatened to define him before he was ready. His words carry the quiet honesty of someone who has learned that retreat can sometimes be an act of strength rather than avoidance. Now steadier, RJ hints that his return is not temporary. He seems ready to stay in Los Angeles, to reconnect with the people and places that shaped him, and to reinsert himself into a world that kept spinning without him. Yet his curiosity about what he missed reveals an underlying tension. As Brooke and Ridge begin filling him in on the escalating Logan-related turmoil, RJ is drawn back into the very family dynamics he once escaped, suggesting that peace may be fragile and short-lived. While this emotional reunion unfolds, Katie Logan Spencer finds herself standing on the opposite side of the emotional spectrum. For her, the week brings vindication rather than relief. Eric Forrester has not merely offered guidance, but has committed himself fully to her new brand, agreeing to design for her first collection. His decision carries weight far beyond sketches and fabrics. It is a declaration of support that challenges the unspoken hierarchy within the Forrester family, and Katie embraces it with genuine excitement. Eric's insistence that this is his choice and that he will not allow Ridge or anyone else to stand in his way signals a deeper shift. What began as a creative opportunity now feels like a philosophical divide between generations and visions of legacy. As Thursday's episode unfolds, joy and tension coexist uneasily, a family reunited, a brand empowered, and lines drawn not in anger alone, but in conviction. In this brief moment of calm and celebration, the show quietly sets the stage for conflicts that will cut deeper precisely because they are rooted in love, loyalty, and the courage to choose one's own path. When Eric Forrester stepped into Katie Logan Spencer's office, the room was heavy with uncertainty. Katie was struggling, quietly but visibly, trying to secure a designer who could legitimize her vision and silence the whispers that her company was nothing more than a provocation. What Eric said next did not simply offer help, it detonated a bomb at the heart of his family. He did not propose advice, nor a temporary consultation. He made it unmistakably clear that he wanted to design with her, to create, to build, to stand behind Logan Fashion as its creative force. That single decision instantly transformed everything. Logan Fashion was no longer a fragile startup dismissed by critics and family alike. It was the very company Brooke Logan Forrester had accused Katie of using to steal ideas, identity, and legacy from herself and Ridge Forrester. It was the same venture Ridge had openly belittled, insisting Katie was operating beyond her depth. It was the enterprise that had already driven a deep wedge between the Logan sisters. And now Eric had handed Katie the ultimate weapon, the one thing she lacked to become a true threat to Forrester Creations. The fallout, once Ridge learns the truth, is destined to be explosive. From Ridge's perspective, reality borders on betrayal. His father, the living symbol of Forrester Creations, the man whose name defines the brand's prestige, has agreed to design for his son's direct competitor. Not an abstract rival, but a company run by the sister of Ridge's wife, a woman currently locked in open conflict with Brooke. Ridge had dismissed Katie as overwhelmed, Brooke had condemned her as opportunistic, and now Eric is poised to legitimize everything they tried to discredit. In one decisive move, he is giving Katie exactly what she needs to prove them wrong. What makes this choice even more destabilizing is that Eric knows precisely what he is doing. This is not confusion, nor sentimentality, nor fading judgment. Eric understands that aligning himself with Logan fashion is a direct challenge to his son's authority and his family's unity. He proceeds anyway. The reason lies not in rebellion for its own sake, but in recognition. Eric sees in Katie what anger has blinded Ridge and Brooke from seeing raw creative energy, ambition sharpened by being underestimated, and a spark that reminds him of why he fell in love with fashion in the first place. In Katie's office, Eric does not feel like a relic guarding a legacy. He feels alive. The talk of launching Logan together, of walking a runway side by side, is not charity. It is creative rebirth. Eric is not stepping back into the past. He is reaching for the future, even if that future requires standing against his own blood. As this alliance takes shape, the Logan family itself begins to fracture. Donna Logan, desperate to preserve what little peace remains, pleads for restraint, urging Brooke and Katie to stop before the damage becomes irreversible. She tries to remain neutral, clinging to the hope that sisterhood might still outweigh rivalry. Yet neutrality becomes impossible the moment Eric throws his support behind Katie. With Eric as lead designer, Logan Fashion is no longer a harmless experiment. It is a legitimate force, and Brooke will experience this not merely as professional competition, but as the ultimate betrayal. Not only has Katie defied her, but Eric, the man Brooke trusted as family, has chosen a side. The Logan sisters have survived battles that once seemed insurmountable. They endured Stephanie Forrester's wrath, decades of rivalry over Ridge, and years of emotional warfare that tested every bond between them. But this moment cuts differently. The question is no longer whether Katie can succeed, but whether the family can survive Eric choosing her over Brooke. Loyalty, legacy, and love are now in direct conflict. The chaos to come is easy to imagine. Ridge discovering his father is designing for Logan. Brooke realizing Eric has aligned himself with Katie, family dinners collapsing into battlefields, and holiday gatherings dissolving into open warfare. While emotions explode and alliances crumble, Katie and Eric will be quietly building something powerful, something undeniable. With this bold move, the bold and the beautiful has ignited one of its most volatile family wars in years. Eric Forrester has chosen vision over loyalty, legacy over comfort, and Los Angeles will not recover from the shock anytime soon.